Yeah. What is going on, guys? Just wanted to jump on to give my trade recap for today. Today was actually a pretty quick trade. Unfortunately, we did take a loss, but we did follow our process and our kind of thinking in terms of the confluences we use and things like that. So I'm pretty sure, as you guys all know, there's like there's like this war going on between the U.S. and um, not really war, but there's bombing going on, and um, a couple airports has been attacked, and um, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, things like that. It's making gold more um, like, as you can see, we're just ripping, right? We're just absolutely ripping, and that's how I think. It makes gold more scarce, therefore more valuable. That's why price is going up higher, but that's me. People interpret the news, more intelligently, as I would say. But for me to just break it down into dummy terms, gold becomes more scarce. Therefore, the sudden push up from the market, as there's bombings going on every, not every blah blah blah, but it's going on here and there. There's bombings from the U.S. side and the other side as well, from the Israeli government. So it's quite interesting to see. Um, Quite interesting to see, what happens in terms of price, right? But yeah, as you can see, we are currently bullish on all time frames. The 4 hour, the daily, the 1 hour. We're all bullish, right? So I was looking for longs. Um, so jumping onto the high time frame to get a bias from there, I can see that we're just ripping. We haven't made a retracement yet, which seems to me that we're still actually within this extension leg. So it just means that price could actually continue up higher and then pulling back. That's what kind of tells me on the 1 hour. The 1 hour time frame, kind of same thing here. We actually break the structure. So therefore that we could actually continue away from the structure, have an extension formed, right? And then pull back. So hopefully we were able to catch that continuation, as price like to extend, pull back, and then extend past the previous structure. So that's the kind of bias I was looking for, and this was confirmed using the 50-minute time frame. As you guys can see, that we did have a 50-minute gap here, and with that, we did have this 5-minute gap kind of refinement within that 50-minute gap. But ideally, we were in that 50-minute gap, and pretty much what I was looking to see was pretty much a take from these lows and then make the move up. But we didn't get that, which is completely okay, because sometimes what price ends up doing is that we chop up, and price takes out the internal low, right? We take out internal low, not this low, so we left this low behind it. We extend up, right? We extend up, we have a fair value gap, or we inverse that previous resistance zone, which we look to take a trade to up to these highs up here. Um, but what ended up happening was that price actually just came back down to take out these lows again. So again, if with because with market open, well, I'll show you guys now. So market open on that candle there. So as you guys can see, price had a chance to sweep these out, sweep out these lows and these lows, sweep out like the main draw, right, of these 5-minute lows. But price ends up actually holding these lows, holding these lows. We take out internal, so we actually get a sweep of internal, right? And it actually fuels the move back up. Oh, it fuels the move past this resistance zone. We close well above it and nicely on the 5 minute. So as you guys can see, we did get a dodgy close here, but we did get a nice closure here, right? We got a dodgy closure here. We came out, swept those internal lows. We get that displacement, right? Past these highs, we get a nice closure above. We get a closure below. Oh, we get a closure above these highs with strong displacement. And what are my points, right? So my points, um, the fact that we had this fair value gap that was in the process of being created, but I was really just focused on this candle here, right? Because as you guys can see, we actually tapped into this inverse and we hold it quite well. So as you can see, we get that displacement move back down. We inverse this cleanly, and you know my break even was at this level here and targeting these highs up here. So again, I just don't think that, if we were and this oh sorry, and I forgot to mention that this 5 minute fair value gap actually got created on on the candle closing of this 5 minute. So, but again, I would think that with price actually closing nicely above this inversion after tapping into it, I would think that price would actually just use this as a breakaway gap, and price wouldn't have to return back there unless we take out these highs first, or even take out these highs. But either then, we would be protected, right? Because once we take out highs, we are break even. Because if price wants to take out, we have the main draw being these highs up here, but price takes out internal highs and then reverses, we're safe when it comes to stops. And when it wants to, and if it reverses, taps into the 5 minute, we can look to actually take a long again, because the main draw is still the target. The main draw is still there, right? We can, and it will just give a better risk to reward. So, but again, price didn't give us a chance to actually go break even, which is okay. It just means that, we weren't looking to take out these highs, and price, does what it wants. So unfortunately, we weren't able to capitalize on the move down, because we do take, one trade a day and we call it a day, because all our, well, to me, I use all my processing power in my brain to on that first trade, right? Like playing out instances in my head, like, okay, we're breaking key levels, let me look for a retracement, and then let me look to, what are we looking to take out, right? If we're breaking key levels for a reason, right? Why are we doing that? But again, markets all based on probability. I would say this was an A plus. I would say this is an A setup. I wouldn't say a plus, just because we didn't take out the low that was formed during Asia. It wasn't Asia session lows, it was just a low that Asia formed, which acts as a nice liquidity draw to fuel the move up. But yeah, what we ended up having was that we actually took out those pre-market lows that London made, and it fueled the move up. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Like we're closed above these highs, we've closed above this inversion, so the resistance point where price was actually bouncing off to try to continue down lower, but it couldn't. We consolidate, consolidate, and then we get a nice push up, closing well above these highs, and as well above this inversion fair value gap here, right? So, um, with that closure above, we try to look at a retracement. We get a nice 5 minute candle formation, and we get a nice rejection from this 5 minute inverse, and then and we had our entry model form, which in this case was our inversion of our condition, which in our case our condition was the with our 5 minute inverse. I wasn't worried about this 5 minute fair value gap, because at the time this wasn't created. This was only created after this 5 minute candle closed, which price actually um, made and tapped into it and broke through it, and actually came and taked out those lows that I was looking to see get taken out. So would have definitely would have increased probability of the trade playing out. But the shorts could also make sense, um, just because we still have a whole range to fill. Well, if price wants to not extend up further, we still have this 1 hour fair value gap that's getting made in the process, and will be in about 5 minutes. So price will tap this 1 hour fair value gap. We also have this 1 hour fair value gap here. And we have, you can consider this an order block if you want to, but we do have, this resistance point here as well. So, um, price could easily fill in those hourly gaps. But again, with what we had on the 50-minute and the 5 minute, we had 5 minute confirmation reacting off this 50-minute. So we actually inversed that 5 minute bearish fair value gap, and we broke those highs and we closed well above it. But again, price just does what it wants, and we can only react from moves. And we reacted, and unfortunately, we were unable to get that move that we were looking for. So, that kind of wraps it up for today's trade. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I do have my exam tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to get some sleep. Make sure you guys wish me luck. I've been studying the past couple of days for it. Um, Pretty easy notes, but again, I don't want to underestimate it. So yeah, just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for um, keeping me accountable. Making sure I'm not taking one trade a day, making sure I'm sticking to the plan, right? Following their plan, following the strategy, um, and making sure that I keep my psychology on a balanced level, right? On equilibrium, right? So yeah, just want to thank you guys so much for helping me get through this process, especially my girl. I know she watches my videos, so shout out to her. She's the best. But yeah, anyway, if anyone else is watching or ever comes across this video, consistency matters, right? So consistency is key, and I told my girl this, and I think I remember telling you guys in the previous video that if we continue to take the steps of a profitable trader every single day, we are bound to be profitable. So, there's days where we just have a bad day or a bad week, or in this case, a bad month, um, or last month. But again, I'm hitting that point where instead of actually losing monthly, I'm actually like kind of hitting near break even monthly, right? So it's some form of progress, and I gotta be proud of that. I just got extra, a couple steps to go to kind of get that profitability stage on deck. So yeah, again, tell myself, that one, if we follow the steps of a profitable trader every single day, we are bound to be profitable. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and God bless you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Today is Monday for us, so I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys have a good week at work. And try to be that 1% better a day, right? So thank you guys so much again for watching. God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have an amazing night or day wherever you guys are from. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye. Peace.